Camp Winnie.
Well, here we are. We're about 20 minutes entering the Queensland border. We've got our state passes to get through. For the last 2 hours, I've driven through wind like I've never seen in my entire life. I don't know whether the camera will pick it up, but look how grey and dusty the skies are. Well, it's show and tell time, guys. This young fella here is travelling all around Australia in this tractor. And don't be fooled by the orange trailer he's towing behind it, it's actually his caravan. He's constructed this whole thing himself, doing it for charity. And it's complete with this plane and gyrocopter on the roof. Of course, it's exactly what you should take with you when you're travelling through Central Australia. Quite a crowd pleaser. Here's our first stop here in Queensland, Mount Isa. Now, Mount Isa may be one of the lesser known cities in Australia, but it is known for one big thing: landmass. At 43,000 square kilometres, Mount Isa is the largest city in the world. And you'd be surprised about some of the unique things you can do here in Mount Isa. So for the next few nights, we've made our way just out of town to an abandoned township called Mary Kathleen. It was a uranium mine here from 1958 to 1982. It's privately owned now, but the owners generously allow campers here with your motorhomes and caravans for free. So we're going to go up to the mine today and check it out. Let's just say, took a bit of a detour, an unexpected one. Yes, never trust Google Maps, or at least not all the time. Ah, it's hot and we're low on water. This uranium mine better be worth it. How you feeling, darling?
Tired.
I can't believe how breathtaking this view is. I also can't believe how rich in uranium deposits these mountains are. Little story about how that was discovered. Way back in the 40s, there was two prospectors driving through the scrub here in their pickup truck. Pickup truck broke down. So while one of the prospectors was under the bonnet trying to fix the truck, his mate got out the Geiger meter counter and switched it on. For those of you who don't know what a Geiger meter is, it measures radiation levels. Makes all those weird crackling noises when it gets higher and lower. Anyway, upon switching it on, the needle went off its dial, noting that it was incredibly rich in uranium all through these mountains. And the rest, as they say, really is history, because several years later, what was sprouted was the township and a large open cut mine with massive contracts to West Germany and the United States for uranium. This is the old Mary Kathleen uranium mine, also abandoned in 1982, just like the nearby township. Kind of reminds me of an old Clint Eastwood Western movie set. There's no one here, and as usual, Mother Nature's taken over. A lot of weeds, kangaroos and herds of wild cows, but we haven't bumped into a soul. The water is such an amazing colour, isn't it? But not all that glistens is gold. The water's that colour due to the natural chemical and uranium deposits that are in the water there and make it look that way. In fact, many years ago, this lake was green and it just turned blue. So unfortunately, you can't go for a dip, as you'd likely walk out of there with two heads. It's still very radioactive here. It is peculiar how Australia remains in the top 3 of the world's largest supply of uranium for nuclear energy, but yet we won't use nuclear energy ourselves. Probably a conversation best left to people that know more about that topic than what I do, but it's interesting nonetheless. This is the township of Mary Kathleen, exactly 7 kilometres away from the mine. I'm in the town square next to their old water fountain. So the town was built in 1958 by Rio Tinto, and it was built to accommodate workers and their families. In its peak, the township was home to about 2,000 people. And historical photos show it was a hustle and bustle of shops and schools, banks, a post office, police and fire stations, and a suburb of homes. They even had a public swimming pool and tennis courts, golf course, and an open-air cinema. They really didn't go without. But after it was all shut down in 1982, the whole town was quickly dismantled and cleared away. However, all of the streets and the roads and the concrete slabs where all those buildings once stood are all still here today. Our motorhome's parked just behind the old post office. Now, although it's all gone, oddly enough, it still has a suburban feel about it here. You can still see evidence of electricity and plumbing all through the streets. As for the residents that were here, I've been reading about the families who grew up in this town. A lot of now, obviously, who have passed away, but their kids, they're all now in their 50s. A few have even revisited this place and located the slab that their old family home sat on. Many stating that life here at Mary Kathleen were the best years of their lives. One writer stating that he stood at the side of his childhood home and cried a little bit. He could still see kids on push bikes riding around, giggling in the streets. And he pondered if any of his lost childhood friends would feel the same way if they ever came back here to visit. It was really touching. But life moves on, doesn't it?
Smile. Lol. LMAO.
Hot 8 people. Oh, there's the toilet, the cage thing. Oh, right. Swamp. Come on, Winnie, don't let us down.
Nobody's in my swamp. Yeah.
I just want to get a bit on the tail.
Yeah, I know.
I'm in the swamp.
We're bogged. Trying to get out of the caravan park at McKinlay. Shannon's doing an awesome job. This is our mess.
I know, I can feel it.
Wasn't it?
Frank's gone to spew, but mate, it's a bloody swamp.
What can you do?
I went to leave and it just friggin' sank.
Wow.
Yeah, oh mate, stay here till the sun comes out.
Yeah, I will too. That's like, oh my god, it's coming through a tube. Oh shit. And this is clean.
Can't believe we're here. Where are we? We're at the McKinlay Federal Hotel, or it's now known as the Walkabout Creek Hotel, from the Crocodile Dundee movies. Yep, Queensland. They made out like it was in Kakadu, the Northern Territory, but it wasn't even in the Northern Territory at all. It was here in outback Queensland. It's hot today, so what do when you come to Walkabout Creek Hotel? You have a couple of cold beers. Oh. And after you finish having a couple of cold beers, you have a few more. while I'm sitting here enjoying my first beer. It's called a Dundee Draft. It's what you should get when you're at the Walkabout Creek Hotel. So here's Wally's ute over here. It's a valiant ute that Walter Riley, manager of Never Never Safaris, drove in the movie. But Mick's truck's gone. Big old dusty truck that Mick Dundee drove through Kakadu. It was on display here once upon a time, but apparently it's been removed pending its restoration. Damn, travelled all this way and it's gone. Oh well. What do you do? Cheers. So we've been granted a bit of special permission to view the Crocodile Dundee truck, which is currently not on display. I feel lucky and I feel privileged to be here. The owner's been really good to us, showing us around the truck, so I want to show you. Never go out with us, because if you do, you'll never come back. Right, well?